Hey, you guys, this is Tamiya Robles. I'm the owner of Fix My Credit Now, A50.com. Welcome to my podcast, Coast to Coast Credit. Today, we're going to be focusing on banks that you can open an account with bad credit. So, I know a lot of my people have been struggling with this, and at the same time, you're following what I'm saying. You're having a plan. I greatly appreciate the fact that you guys are listening. I see the results that are coming from you guys listening to what I'm stating, but I know you want to start fresh. I know you're trying to open up accounts and you're getting rejected because of your credit score. So I wanted just to go over that real quick. So, one of the things that you can do is you can open up a bank account with a credit union. So, I know a lot of people know about Navy Federal. That's definitely an option. You can also use your state employee credit union. It's called a SECU. And from what I'm understanding, North Carolina, out of all the states, are the most relaxed when it comes to applying. So the eligibility with that, um, it can be open to individuals that have bad credit. So if you're in North Carolina, you want to open up a bank account with a credit union. And like I've said before, credit unions are like the best to work with, especially when you're trying to get loans. Do your research in your area and see, just look at the fine print and definitely consider applying there. You can also do digital federal credit unions. And yes, I am reading the strip because I'm trying to make sure I'm giving you guys all the correct information. But a DCU, Digital Federal Credit Union, DCU, is open to anyone who joins certain associations. So I actually have a company. It's a nonprofit organization. You can pay a small fee. You can have like a temporary membership, or you can have a membership for life. And you pay this really small fee, and you have access to like 200 plus credit unions throughout the United States. If anybody is interested in that list, let me know. Leave a comment, and then I'll find that list and I'll post it up for you. But I wanted to go over with you guys, just for example, like applying for Navy Federal. So I'm going to share my screen. Let me pull up Navy Federal just so you could get a visual of what the process is like when you're online. So here is Navy Federal. And let me see, is there a way I can blow this up? Okay, so when you go on the Navy Federal website, you can scroll down to membership, become a member. It was also at the bottom too. I was just on it. So these are the basic questions or the criteria you need. If you're a serviceman, active duty, a vet, retired, you can apply. DoD employees and contractors can apply. Family members, immediate family members, or someone who is eligible. So in this case, family members, I personally never served in the military, but I can allow my children to become members, husband, um, siblings. I do believe siblings, parents, and then it stops there. It can't be like a cousin and Kiki and them from down the street. That's not acceptable. But as long as they're related to someone and they're an immediate family member of somebody that's already a member, they can join. So once you feel that you qualify, then you would click here. You could just basically apply, and they usually ask you some basic questions. So we're going to click on that. I cannot complete this whole membership because I'm already a member, but I just wanted to give you a visual quickly on what you would needs to go through when you apply. So it says, let's make sure you're eligible for the individual membership, which statement describes you best. I'm serving or have served. You can click that. I think it takes you to the next screen. I'm currently serving or retired, or I'm a vet. I'm a DoD employee or contractor. I'm related to a Navy Federal member, right? Such as myself. I live with a Navy Federal member. So let's click that. I'm curious to see. Okay, this person will be your sponsor. You'll need one of the following: your sponsor's Navy Federal access number and the last four digits of your spouse's social security number and date of birth. All right, so now you know that one. Okay, so another thing, let's keep going. I live within the, I'm a US government employee assigned to a DoD installation. I'm eligible for a select employee group, SEG. And then I'll ask you, what company do you work for? NASSCO, NASCO, San Diego, California, Bay. You work for Bay? Sure do. And then other. So yeah, I mean, go through this process yourself. I have a family member who served. If none of them apply to you, check out our full eligibility requirements. So let's click on that for shits and giggles. Am I eligible for membership? Active duty. It just goes into detail. Okay. Oh, grandparents, spouses, siblings, if they're a family member. Parents, grandparents, spouses, siblings, children, grandchildren, and household members. All right. So now you know. Department of Defense civilians, minor membership. Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. If you do not qualify for any of them, then you're going to be rejected. Now, if you do qualify, what's been happening since the pandemic, because there were like a lot of hacks back during the pandemic. There's a lot of hacks for everything. I'm actually going to do a video on all the hacks that came out during the pandemic. And if you guys want to use it, you can. Some of it still works, some of it not so much. But if you want me to tell you about the hacks, let me know. I still use one because I paid a lot of money for the hack. But anyway, because of the hacks that were going on during the pandemic, um, they don't instantly approve you like they used to. I sent a couple of my clients over to Navy Federal, and I knew they should have gotten approved like right off the bat, but they made them wait 24 to 48 hours and then they approved them. So that's something to consider. Um, like I said, the SECU, Digital Federal Credit Unions, you may want to just check that out. Just Google the information, Google what the best ones are, maybe in your area, in your state. You got to keep in mind that every state is different. They have different rules. So you want to definitely check that out. So just Google it. Google is your friend. I'm back on here again. All right. So now another thing you want to consider are second chance banks. So I have clients that use Chime. So Chime is one, Vero Bank. Let's look that up real quick. But with Chime, you want to be careful. I'm a firm believer in going with any bank that will accept you. But what I don't care for is the prepaid cards. Okay. The prepaid cards that come with some of these programs, you can open up a bank account, but again, just be careful about getting prepaid, especially if you're in the process of fixing your credit. I've talked about that in my videos. Um, if you, yeah, they're talking about Chime Credit Builder, Visa credit card. Yeah, I did a video on this. This takes away your years. If you're trying to work on your credit, you need age. And you may already have age. I've talked about that as well. You might have a student loan debt, and maybe you want to flip it to make it positive and make it a primary trait line, and maybe it's a 20-year-old trait line. That's what gets you a high credit score. That's what gets you in the 850s is age. Now, if you open up like a Chime account, a prepaid card, then it's going to assassinate the years that you have. But you can open up a bank account with them. All right. So definitely try doing that. What is Chime? It goes into here, online banking. Okay. Talks about paychecks. You get your paychecks up to 2 days early with direct deposit. All right. If anybody wants to know how they're able to do that, let me know. I can explain in another video. And it just goes into Chime. But I just wanted you guys to see what it looks like. open up a bank account, you do not need to you don't need to have the what you call it, the secure credit card. Okay, Vero Bank, I am somewhat familiar with it. Um I think I tried to apply like way back in the day. And I was just more so curious about who they were and what they did, and then that was pretty much it. I personally like to have a whole bunch of bank accounts, um, and I have them just through regular banks. I didn't do the online thing, but this is what Vero looks like, and it is an online bank account. Hopefully, you guys can see it. Yep, you can see it. Cool beans. All right, so this is what it looks like. This is the website. Early payday. So it's just like another Chime. Send, receive money via Zelle. But yeah, like I said, just to get you on your feet, you got prepaids. What is this? A card builder, no credit check, no interest, no hidden fees. I mean, use this at your discretion. It's totally up to you. I personally don't think you should do it if you're, especially if you're trying to build your credit quickly. But if you have the time, go ahead and do that. Some people are trying to fix their credit just to fix it, and they have all the time in the world. But most of my clients are trying to quickly fix their credit, and can't afford to lose anything when it comes to credit. They can't afford to lose years, none of that stuff. So I wouldn't do it if you're trying to make an immediate purchase or a purchase within a year or so. Nah, because it's going to take your years away. But if you got the time, then go for it. But yep, this is Vero, so it's like I said, it's like another Chime. So that's definitely an option you can use. Um, and I don't see anything wrong with this. You want to get into the system. All these banks and credit bureaus and credit unions, they're all interconnected. And if you have bad credit and you're getting rejected across the board, it would be helpful for you to go where you are approved. Okay. So there's specific banks, like for example, Alley Bank. I know a lot of you guys are familiar with Alley Bank, Capital One, Chime again. They report not to the three credit bureaus that we're familiar with, but they do report to the check system, which is also a credit bureau. And once you start getting in the positive with any bank, then it lets all the other banks know, like, listen, we know they messed up in the past, but they're working on their credit. We accepted them, we approved them, they're in good standing with us. So we gave them a chance. We think you should give them a chance. Right. So another famous one is Capital One. What is that? The 360. Now I'm going to share my screen again. And it's actually taking me into my own personal bank account. So give me a second. Yeah, here we go. Boom. All right. So you got your credit cards again, Capital One. If you can recall, especially all my old heads back in the day, you might remember. You want to do this is savings. You want to do Capital One. Where'd it go? 360. Boom. But back in the day, if you can recall, Capital One wasn't a bank. It was always like it wasn't online per se. It didn't have an online presence. It was like one of those rush cards. I talked about that in a live. I think one of my viewers was helping me out with that. If you remember the rush card back in the day, or those prepaid cards, or you could just upload your get direct deposit, get your paychecks on the card. That's what Capital One used to be back in the day. And then I don't know if y'all remember, all of a sudden you started seeing Capital One banks. I was looking pretty sus. I was like, I don't trust it. I mean, that's like the Rush card having a bank called the Rush, the Rush Bank. Like, I wouldn't use that bank, right? So in the beginning, I wouldn't use it. But then as time went on, it catered to people that would have a Rush card. Now it's a bank, and then this bank gives people opportunities that they wouldn't have necessarily had. So if you already had, let's say, before they had the banks. If you were already a member, you had like the prepaid card. You were supposed to be kind of like a shoe in as far as being a member with the bank, with Capital One. And as a new bank, yes, they were letting everybody and their mom in. Now, Capital One today, as we know it, it's like a hood bank. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it a beam with you. This is not like one of the classier banks. It's not like it's a Chase, or I would say Wells Fargo, but are they even classy anymore? I don't know. Um, your upper echelon banks. It's not one of those pretty top tier banks, but it's a bank that does the job, especially if you are struggling with credit. So here's basically what it looks like. You can check out what they have, what they can do for you. Got overdraft options, all this stuff, right? So you could definitely have poor credit and open up a 360 checking and savings account. All right. All right. So I just want you guys to see there are options for you. Okay. You can open bank accounts with very bad credit. It's all good. So again, like I said, don't feel discouraged. All right. Everybody has some sort of issue. We're all trying to work things out. And I just want to give you as many tips as possible. If you feel any type of way that you have to open a bank online, don't. You got to start somewhere. It's going to communicate to check systems. They're going to see that you're making progress, and that's the biggest thing. That's the most important thing. So open up a bank account. If you guys have any questions or concerns, let me know. If you want to know more, just leave a comment. And again, if you want me to post that list, that link to all the credit unions where you just pay that small fee and then you have access to all the credit unions throughout the US, let me know and I'll drop that for you. In the meantime, y'all take care.